Welcome back guys again for another video. Today we have another guide, and today the guide is going to be about the Monarchs. This video is going to be pretty interesting, so make sure to watch till the very end because this could change how you reroll and also make your account a much stronger one. By the way, speaking of Monarchs, we are going to be doing a bunch of giveaways at 50k subscribers. I'm gonna do at least 2 giveaways at 50k subscribers, which is celebrating our milestone, which is halfway to our ultimate goal of 100k subscribers. So if you want to be part of this giveaway, then don't forget to like and subscribe. And once we get to 50k, we're gonna be doing this giveaway on our Discord in the pinned comment down below. Okay, so this is the number one thing that you need to remember, okay? Not all Monarchs are made equally. This means that a Monarch on Gogeta is going to be significantly better than a Monarch on Luz, Emi, Ichigo, Harukarin, or Fubuku, right? So that's the number one thing that you guys have to remember moving forward with this video, because we're gonna get back to this later on. So the original title of this video was supposed to be Guaranteed Monarch Reroll, which is, I know, kind of crazy. So I'm changing it to the Monarch method in Anime Vanguards update 4.5, and this is basically going to help you guys decide which units to reroll on and also how to reroll to get, you know, the most out of your rerolls basically. So as I said earlier, a Monarch on Gogeta is going to be significantly better than a Monarch on Ichigo or a Monarch on Gojo or a Monarch on Sukuna, right? So this is the number one thing that you have to remember, especially as a free-to-play player or as someone who is not lucky, okay? So remember that. And then the second point that I want to mention is that there is a pity in Anime Vanguards, which means that at a certain point you are going to guaranteed roll a Monarch, and this is around 2,500 rerolls. So the way this Monarch pity works is it's per unit, so it's not per total reroll. So you're not gonna be getting a Monarch if you spend 2,500 rerolls. It's a per unit thing. So that means if I spend 700 rerolls on Gogeta, I have 700 in the pity already, and if I reroll 300 on Ichigo, I have 300 rerolls in the pity for Ichigo. It's a per unit basis. This means that if you completely just full send and dedicate all your rerolls on a single unit, it will eventually get a Monarch. This is very important because this is the only guaranteed method of getting a Monarch in Anime Vanguard. So imagine this, right? You have 2,500 rerolls, which is the pity of Monarch, and you divide that by 5 units. Each of them are gonna get 500 rerolls. You are not guaranteed to get a Monarch on any of them because a Monarch is a 0.1% chance. But if you spend that 2,500 rerolls on just one unit, you are going to guaranteed get a Monarch on that unit because, again, the pity is a per basis thing. I'm not gonna go deeper into explanation here because I think it's pretty simple to understand. I'll just reply to your comments if you need it. Just think of it like this. If you spend 2,500 rerolls on just one unit, you either get shafted and go all the way to 2,500 but you're guaranteed to get a Monarch, or you divide that to 5 units and you're not guaranteed to get a Monarch. So I think in this case, just full sending all your rerolls for one unit is more worth it because at least that way it's a guarantee. Whereas if you don't use the pity and, you know, divide all your rerolls, you could go for like 10,000 rerolls and not even get a single Monarch, which is just absolutely sad. And the reason why this is important is because me and a lot of other people out there, the way they reroll is they basically reroll on every unit that they can see, right? Oh, I'm gonna reroll on Ichigo. Oh, I'm gonna reroll on Toji. I'm gonna reroll on Emi or Luz, and then they basically waste the rerolls that they have. Let's say, for example, me, right? The last Monarch I got before, you know, Songjinwoo, Vanguard, and Gogeta was Gojo, right? So this was a Monarch unit that I got in update 1. So that's around 4 months ago, 4 or 5 months ago. This was in around October. When I got my second Monarch, it was in February or March, I believe. And I must have spent over 2,000 something rerolls on a bunch of different units, getting a ton of ethereal. So check this out. I've spent so much rerolls and I've gotten a ton of ethereals in the span of that 4 months. But had I, you know, dedicated all my rerolls into a single unit, I might have gotten a Monarch before Gogeta, because I'm pretty sure I've spent around 2,500 rerolls before getting Gogeta Monarch on a bunch of different units. and I got 0 Monarchs. Essentially, what I'm saying right here is the strategy of spending your rerolls on every unit is not gonna work. It's not effective, especially as a free-to-play player. You are not going to be getting the most out of your rerolls, especially since not all Monarchs are made equal. Like, imagine, for example, rerolling and then accidentally getting a Monarch on someone like Ragna, right? Or someone like Toji. You could have gotten a Monarch on Gogeta, which is significantly better than any other unit with Monarch, right? So essentially, what I'm saying right here is where you put your rerolls on matters the most, right? Where you put your rerolls on matters the most. And this is essentially the only way that you can make the most out of your rerolls, right? Because if you do get a Monarch on one of these OP units, it can pretty much change your account forever. Like me, for example, the moment I got Monarch on Gogeta, I pretty much never lost my MVP. I'm always MVP. Gogeta can pretty much carry me to most game modes and always get the most amount of damage because Gogeta Monarch is significantly better than any other Monarchs out there. And I can see a lot of people with Monarchs on units like Rem and Ram. Rem and Ram is a unit that's good without Monarch, you know? And I can beat them in terms of DPS or damage, and I always get the MVP because, again, I decided to invest all my rerolls into a single unit. And this is actually a strategy that a lot of leaderboard players that are F2P use. They pretty much dedicate their rerolls on just one single unit, and then when they get it, they use it for a long time. Especially since how Anime Vanguards works, you know, where the power creep is not that hard. For example, units that are meta in update 2, the Fate update, are still kind of meta right now. For example, right, Saber. Meta in update 2, the Fate update last year, still relevant right now. Gilgamesh, still relevant right now. Gogeta, which was a unit that was meta in update 1, update 3, Ragna as well, still relevant right now. Power creep is not that big of an issue in Anime Vanguards, and I actually kind of talked about this in the last video, and this is because most of the power of the units are not in stats, it's in passives. Which means investing in a single unit is actually kind of good. And in terms of investing, apparently, the way that Vanguards will work in this game is that they are actually never going to leave the meta. Apparently, according to one of the developers that I talked to that designs and balance the game, the moment that the Vanguard falls off the meta, they're going to get buffed to bring them back to the meta. Case in point, Diavolo, right? Diavolo got buffed and got put back into the meta. Gogeta, whenever he falls off, will get buffed to get put back in the meta as well. So, this means that if you are looking for an investment, your number one investments should always be Vanguard units. According to the stage in update 4.5, there are going to be 4 Vanguards per year. Per season, basically. So, imagine this. Every season, you're gonna be grinding the game and spending all your rerolls on one Vanguard. After about a year, you're probably gonna have 3 or 4 Monarchs on those Vanguards, and you can beat pretty much everybody with Monarchs on a bunch of different units that are not Vanguards, because Vanguards are always gonna be the ones that will benefit the most from Monarchs. Well, not really all of them, because Song Jinwoo Vanguard can benefit from Deadeye as well, but he's very good with Monarch. So the best investment for rerolls are actually always or almost always going to be Vanguard units, right? But because it's pretty complicated how to pick which units to reroll on, I am going to be making a video to decide which units to reroll on, and I'm going to be making this video every update. So if you want to make the most out of your rerolls, you gotta wait for this video, basically. Because, for example, a lot of people, when Ragna released, rerolled traits on Ragna. And a lot of people got Monarch on Ragna, not knowing that having Monarch on him pretty much destroys this unit, right? A lot of people rerolled traits on units like Fubuki, which is a support unit. She doesn't really need a Monarch, right? So essentially, people not knowing what these units do and how these units react with Monarch and other traits kind of cook a lot of people, because they end up wasting their hard-earned rerolls on units that don't really need them. Because again, not all Monarchs are made equal, and units like Gogeta can benefit a lot from Monarch, and other units like Fubuki do not really need it. So that's pretty much it for today's video. Stay tuned for the other video that I'm going to be making, and I think I'm going to try to go in depth into which units to really reroll on in Anime Vanguards update 4.5. That's it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.